Okay, very good morning. It's Vikram here. Sorry, let me just move this aside. Yeah. Okay. Uh, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna discuss on the latest card, which is your credit card that is being rolled out by MasterCard, and we're gonna go through an observation in terms of different aspects of when we want to roll out the system. Yeah. So when you look at any system, you'll essentially be looking at these three aspects, which is your security, your cost, and your experience, right? So in security, you will be saying, okay, how secure it is in terms of is it really adding too much value, whether I can have man in the middle attacks or some kind of hijacking or some kind of cloning, copying, and things like that. And then you'll also be looking at is there a cheaper alternate, or is there an alternate to that which we can roll it out. That obviously you have to do, because that's how you'll only be able to create a clear value proposition that why we should go for this kind of security. Second aspect you look at is the cost. Now obviously if you have small set of audience, let's say 1,000 users, it's fine. But in case of MasterCard cards which will be biometrics enabled, they will be I would say much bigger in the volume. So especially if they're focusing on countries like India and China, where they want to link it up with the back-end KYC system of banks and all. If you're using magnetic strip, you're anyway out of it. So it would be most likely that you're using a pin-based card, and then you'll also have a biometrics one. So I'll show you a video of in terms of promotion, and then you'll also look at what is the cost per user if there is something goes wrong. So what will be the support that will be involved, and because it is in hardware, that means you're actually looking at replacing those old cards, right? So you'll be asking people to come back and give their old cards back, and then you will be reissuing them, and obviously there has to be some kind of process that has to be set in. So there will be a kind of operational change that will come. So that is a cost. And is it reliable, and is it 100% fail proof? So if let's say somebody says, oh, my card is broken, or my card is lost, or the biometrics this thing is working or not working, like pin, sometimes the chip in the pin based cards actually actually gets a little bit iodized, or it's got a little bit dust on it, then it doesn't work. So is it really fail proof? So those are the things you need to look at when it comes to the cost. And lastly is experience. Now everybody goes for wow factor. It's not like add more steps. You should have less steps. It should be in the background. It should be seamless. It should not change anything. In fact, people are looking for reducing the number of steps they want to do when they want to do anything online, for the simple fact is that most of the people want to do things in a very lazy way. They have very busy lives, so they don't want to add anything more to that, right? So and it should obviously cover all the use cases. So if I'm using my card online, if I'm using my card over the counter, if I'm using the card in a self-catering POS terminal, so a lot of things, or old terminals, new terminals, things like that. So all those things have to be covered. Yeah. So these are the three things which we have to look at: cost, security, and experience, right? That's how you will look at in terms of rolling out any product, especially in context of security. Yeah. So let me quickly show you the video of what MasterCard is saying. So the lady she's at the shopping mall, and now she's coming over here. She's using a pin card. As you can see, she inserts it, and the biometrics is with a thumb over there, and then voila, she does it, right? So now this looks very, very easy. Yeah. So from a user point of view, it looks very easy, but what they have not covered is how did she got the registration done. What about her replacing the old card and getting the new card, and what if a card was having a little bit of dust on it and things like that. So what was it? And she was only shown as a single person in the mall. Now that typically you and I know that it doesn't happen. You have a list of people who are standing, or a line of, or a queue of people standing behind you, and everybody's in a rush, right? Especially if it's right after the office hours, you have to catch your subway train, and then voila, nobody wants to stop for you, right? So those things were not catered for. And then on the other hand is when we come about it, is the other thing which I want to show you is Japanese and German, and I think few other countries, Israeli, and they have actually showcased that you can copy your thumbprint. So if I lose away my thumbprint, it's as good as my whole security collapses, right? I'm using a card which is going to have biometrics, I lose the card, and possibly from my Facebook, I have a photo where I'm doing like this and my thumbprint gets lost, then I'm as good as somebody stealing my card, right? Please do remember, biometrics is static. So if, because it is static, there is always a threat of it getting stolen, right? So in your pin based terminal, you can always enter the pin, right? And on the other hand is that you have the new cards, which are the wave cards, or CVV3 cards, which are much more superior as compared to CVV1 and CVV2, which are fantastic, which are dynamic in nature. So those are the cards that can be a good option or good replacement. So what I'm trying to show over here is that Germans and Japanese, and I think a couple of Italian companies have already showcased that you can you can steal away your biometrics by a picture. So your security is as good as nothing. And now on the other hand is a couple of years back, if you just go and search for in-card OTP. Now I think in 2007, if you see this article, there was a very innovative company. A lot of companies said, oh, this is the future of cards, where I can have second factor coming in using my card. And they actually said that each card costs you about almost $3. Now that is minus the logistics and all these things will coming in. And if you really see, none of the banks actually rolled out in masses. In fact, I was involved that time with few pilots which we had done with the banks for using these cards. So there were a few other companies like Incard, then there was Fathian, and then there was I think DZ card, DZ card, which was a Belgium company. So all these companies actually did roll out those cards. I have seen those cards. They were a little bit thicker. They actually had a chip and a battery in it. So possibly the battery will run out. Now to do the same thing in biometrics also, you might have to have some kind of activator when you put your thumb in, and then it will actually register, and then it will say, okay, yes, it's the right person, then only allow you to do the to the swipe. So there's a bit of I would say operational or risk coming in when it use these kind of cards, which are a little bit more smarter. So I'm going back to my slide. So if you really look at, okay, my personal conclusion, okay, it doesn't talk about my companies, but it's my personal conclusion is that when it comes to security, it can get stolen, right? So security can be good, but it is if it's as good as your fingerprint getting stolen, then you are done. So you can actually look at other options. Now other options could be that I have a mobile phone, I can actually do an easy check-in before I actually pay for it. So it's already done before I went go to the counter. And this kind of easy check-in can actually take away your geolocation, device, what you're using, plus a one-time password or a certificate-based security. And also you can use biometrics over here, which again is already there. You don't need to do anything much. Your cards can be the simple old cards and you can use them. Other is risk-based authentication, which is already working in the back end to evaluate whether you're the right person doing the transaction at the right place. And then obviously over-the-shoulder facial. So imagine that the person is standing, and right in front of that in the kiosk you have a little mini cheap Android phone with a Pi thing running in the background, Raspberry Pi, and then you can just capture the face. When the person does the transaction, you actually just match in the background that yes, this person was here in so and so POS terminal or in so and so supermart or shopping mart and was doing the transaction. So there are various other ways which you can look at, and I think one of the best ways which is already there is pin based option. And secondly, you have CVV3, which is the wave based. So I think they are quite good, quite sufficient to get things done, and it doesn't add any new hardware to it. Other part is obviously the cost. Now in terms of cost, you have it's if OTP card was costing you $3, so I'm assuming with if it costs the same today, and if you have 1 million customers, you're going to spend about $3 million just on buying those cards. So I think cost is definitely not for masses. You can only give it out for some selected few audiences or a less number of people or customers. Then hardware, it's a logistics nightmare. There can be a malfunction defect, so you can have a little bit of problems over there. And then you can, I think, always look at complementing it with the software with these plastic cards. So that you don't really add it to it. So I think security can complement in these kind of payment systems instead of actually rolling out these biometric cards. And lastly, the experience. I think it's a hard sell. If I'm standing in a queue, it's not going to be that fast. If my hands are dirty, or if I'm wearing a glove, or if my card is a little bit chipped or something like that, then it's a hard sell. Personally, I would not like to use it. I think it slows it down. And lastly, I think the registration process. So if you're gonna register your device, if you have registered your phone with biometrics, there are at least 5 to 6 steps which you have to go through. So these steps need to come somewhere. Now, unless what they're doing is that they're capturing your biometrics over here and then sending it out, and that system actually processes it and then checks at the server side. Now, if you do that kind of process, that means that either you're changing the terminals or you are adding some other layer of intelligence in terms of your device, right, communicating with the server. So I think that option will not work. So possibly you'll have some kind of registration process over here to go through, which a lot of people will not understand at the beginning. A lot of people who carry biometrics enabled phones still don't know how to use biometrics phone or how to set it up. So that's again an experience issue. It's not a wow issue. It's like, whoa, it's like I'm not able to get it rolling. So these 3 things which we need to look at, which is security, cost, and experience. And if we look at what MasterCard has rolled out with biometrics, is good. Again, I'm not sure if it will succeed. I think only time will tell. Whatever I'm sharing right now is my personal opinion. It's nothing to do with Bluebricks technology, Muller Technologies. This is my personal experience which I'm sharing with you in terms of whether these cards will succeed or not succeed. Nothing against MasterCard, fantastic company, very innovative, love those guys, but I think a biometrics card is not going to be one of the cool products which they have going to roll out. And I think their latest API management platform which they have rolled out for developers, that is a much better platform. And if I get some time, I think I'll try to make a quick video and post about that also. Yeah. So thank you so much. Have a great day ahead, and thank you. If you have any comments, please drop me an email, vikram@mulatech.com or vikram@blue-bricks.com. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.